All right, so are you ready to dive in? Today we're going to be looking at Ubisoft.
Oh, yeah.
And they're a company that everyone knows, but I think they're more interesting than people give them credit for.
Absolutely.
And, you and I have talked about this, and I know you're fascinated by, like, how games have changed and what
Yeah.
that means for, like, the industry and for, like, the future of entertainment and all that.
Totally.
So we've got a bunch of stuff here. We've got articles, research, all about Ubisoft, and we're going to try to pick out the
Yeah.
most interesting stuff.
I think even if someone has played just a few Ubisoft games, they've probably felt the effects of what they've done,
Yeah.
maybe without even realizing it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think about, like, Assassin's Creed, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
they're known for these huge worlds, right?
Huge.
Incredibly detailed, and it's like you're playing through history,
Mm-hmm.
but how accurate is that stuff, really?
It's actually really accurate.
Wow.
They've got historians and archaeologists on staff to make sure they get those details right. You think about, like, Notre Dame, the pyramids, all that's modeled on the real thing based on research.
That's so cool.
So you're really kind of getting a history lesson
Yeah.
while you play.
It makes you want to go back and play those games and like, look for those details.
Absolutely.
But it's not even just the history stuff, right? Like
You're right.
games like Far Cry 5 or The Division, they've got these like
Oh, yeah.
dynamic worlds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like things are actually happening. Animals, weather.
Great.
Is that common in other games or is that like a Ubisoft thing?
They were really early with that.
Okay.
It's becoming more common now, but you know that thing where you climb a tower
Yes.
to reveal the map?
Yes.
They pretty much popularized that.
Really?
Yeah, Assassin's Creed was one of the first to do that, and now it's everywhere.
I never would have guessed.
Yeah.
So they changed like how the world looks, but also how it feels to play in it, right?
Exactly like the movement in Assassin's Creed.
Oh, yeah.
The parkour system.
That was just revolutionary.
No, totally revolutionary. Before that, most games were like pretty limited in what you could do.
Yeah.
You're kind of stuck on the ground, but Assassin's Creed opened things up.
I remember when that game came out, it was like you were like actually climbing and it was so smooth.
Yeah.
And they just kept getting better at it too.
Yeah, the later games are even more fluid.
What about hiding in crowds?
Oh, yeah.
I remember that being like a big deal
That was huge.
because before that, crowds were just kind of like background, right?
They were just there.
Yeah.
But Ubisoft made them interactive. Like, the NPCs would react to you being there.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so the world felt a lot more alive.
Okay, so now I got to ask about combat
Okay.
because I love a good sword fight,
Right. Sure.
Have they done anything interesting with combat?
Oh, they've tried all kinds of things.
Okay.
They've got, like, For Honor with those super tactical duels, and then you've got the later Assassin's Creed games that are more RPG
Okay.
with leveling up skills and stuff.
Yeah.
So it shows they're not afraid to try new things, but they're also listening to what players want.
Makes sense. Okay, so this is where it gets kind of techie.
Okay.
But I'm fascinated by the engines that like power games.
Yeah. Yeah, the tech behind it all.
Yeah. So what about Ubisoft? What's special about their engines?
Well, they've got a couple of big ones.
Okay.
There's the Anvil engine, which they made for Assassin's Creed.
Okay.
And it was built to handle, like, tons of characters, these huge detailed worlds.
Yeah.
You know, all the stuff Ubisoft games are known for.
I've always been impressed with how Assassin's Creed games look.
Yeah.
Is that because of the engine?
Yeah, they're always updating it.
Okay.
So it's gotten more and more realistic over time.
And then there's the Snowdrop engine, right?
Yeah, they use that for The Division.
Oh.
And they're going to use it for the Avatar game, too.
Oh, cool.
It's all about, like, stunning visuals, amazing lighting, and they've even got destructible objects in there.
Whoa, wait. Destructible objects?
Yeah.
So, like, you can just go around breaking everything.
Well, not everything, but certain things can be destroyed.
Okay.
It just makes the environment feel more realistic.
I got you. And what about procedural generation?
Oh, yeah.
I've heard them talk about that, but I don't really know what it means.
Okay, so imagine you're making a game like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, right?
Yeah.
With all those islands and cities.
Okay.
You don't want to have to design every little thing by hand,
That's
right?
right.
So procedural generation is a way to, like, create stuff automatically using
Okay.
algorithms.
Okay.
So it can, like, make all these unique locations without the developers having to do it all themselves.
So it's like the game is building itself.
Kinda, yeah.
That's wild. Okay, so Ubisoft's not all open worlds though, right?
No, definitely not.
Like I remember playing Rayman as a kid.
Oh, yeah, the Rayman games are great.
Are those considered innovative too?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Like Rayman Legends and Origins, those are some of the best platformers ever made.
Okay.
The art style is gorgeous. The gameplay is so smooth.
Okay, so this might be a silly question, but
Yeah.
have you ever played Just Dance? Is that innovative?
Well, maybe not in the same way as something like Assassin's Creed,
Okay.
but it brought motion controls to like a huge audience.
That's
It's like a cultural phenomenon.
And what about Mario plus Rabbids?
Oh, yeah.
How did that even happen?
It was a surprise to everyone.
Yeah.
But somehow it worked.
Yeah.
They took the world of Mario and the Rabbids and made this like
Yeah.
surprisingly deep strategy game.
Yeah.
It shows they're willing to try these unexpected combinations.
For sure. And with all this focus on like action and big worlds, do they ever make games that are more about story?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Do you have a favorite?
I really love Valiant Hearts, The Great War.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
It's set during World War I, and
Wow.
it tells this really powerful story.
So they can do those like quieter
Oh, yeah,
narrative-focused games too?
definitely.
Okay, let's talk about multiplayer.
Right.
I mean, it's huge now, right?
Huge.
So how has Ubisoft contributed to that?
Well, one thing is co-op. Like
Oh.
in Far Cry 5, you could team up with a friend
Yeah.
and explore the world together.
Okay.
It made exploration more fun, and it encouraged teamwork.
I spent so much time in the Division with friends.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in the dark zones.
The dark zones were so intense.
What made those so special?
Well, you could cooperate with other players,
Okay.
but you could also betray them at any time.
Really?
Yeah, so you never knew who to trust.
That's crazy.
It made the game super unpredictable.
I'm more of a single-player person, but I've heard about Rainbow Six Siege.
Oh, yeah. Siege is huge.
What makes it so special?
Well, it's like their big competitive game.
Okay.
They've got those destructible environments.
Ooh, yeah.
The operators all have unique abilities,
Yeah.
and the gameplay is super strategic.
Because they've really focused on that competitive scene.
Yeah, and they've kept it going for years with updates and new content.
Okay, so I've been thinking about this, like, games can be more than just fun, right?
Yeah.
Have they done anything in that space?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like what?
Well, they've got the Discovery Tour.
Oh, yeah, what is that?
So it's this mode they added to Assassin's Creed Origins and Odyssey,
Okay.
and it basically turns the game into a virtual museum.
Oh, wow.
You can explore the ancient world without any combat.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's full of guided tours and information.
That's a great way to learn about history.
Right. And teachers are even using it in classrooms.
Wow, so they're actually like
Yeah.
making a difference with this stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, what about like real world issues? They tackled any of that in their games?
Yeah, definitely. Well, you've got Watch Dogs 2 and Legion,
Okay.
which are about things like corporate greed,
Okay.
surveillance hacking.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all super relevant topics.
Okay.
And then there's Far Cry 5,
Yeah.
which deals with religious extremism
Okay.
and societal division.
That game was pretty controversial.
Yeah, it definitely sparked some debate.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot here.
Yeah, we have.
So what would you say is like Ubisoft's biggest legacy?
I think it's three things.
Okay.
First, they're open worlds.
Okay.
They popularize all that stuff we talked about, the towers, the collectibles, the dynamic environments.
Yeah, you see that everywhere now.
Exactly. It's like their blueprint is everywhere.
What's the second thing?
Live service games.
Okay.
Rainbow Six Siege, show that you can keep a game going for years with updates,
Mm-hmm.
new content,
Yeah.
and a strong community.
And that's the model a lot of games are following now.
Exactly.
Okay, and the third thing.
Blending fun with education.
Okay.
Like the Discovery Tour showed that games can be entertaining and meaningful.
I'm honestly blown away by how much they've done.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
I never realized they were behind so much stuff.
Yeah, they've been busy.
Okay, so before we wrap up here, I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
If you could take all of Ubisoft's innovations, all the best stuff from their games,
Mm-hmm.
and combine it into like one perfect game, what would that look like? Ooh, that's a good question.
We're going to explore that more in part 2, but for now I want you to think about it.
Yeah, I'm already thinking about it.
What would your dream Ubisoft game be like?
It's going to be tough to choose.
I know, right? There's so much to work with.
Yeah, for sure. That is a really good question.
I know, right?
It's hard to pick just one thing.
It is. But I think we got to start with like the world, right?
Yeah, the world is key.
What kind of world did this game have?
Well, I think it needs that Ubisoft signature,
Yeah.
that sense of freedom.
Definitely like just being dropped into a huge world and you can go anywhere, do anything.
Exactly. And not just big, but like detailed. Like you can spend hours exploring and there's always something new to find.
And I'd love a story that like really grabs you.
Oh, for sure.
Like they've done those smaller games, right?
Yeah, like Valiant Hearts.
But I want that in a huge open world.
I'm with you there.
Like branching storylines, choices that matter.
Mm.
What if they did like a historical setting again?
Oh, yeah.
Like Assassin's Creed, but different.
We've seen Egypt, Greece.
Right?
What about medieval Japan?
Ooh.
Or the Roman Empire?
I like it. And to make it feel real,
Yeah.
we need those
Yes.
dynamic environments.
Dynamic environments are key.
Like weather, that actually affects how you play.
Oh, yeah.
Like a storm comes in, you got to change your plans, find shelter.
What if the NPCs were, like, really smart, too?
Yeah,
Like, they react to everything that's happening?
So they're not just like standing around.
Yeah, they've got their own lives
Yeah,
and routines.
Okay, and let's add in those destructible environments. Like in Siege.
You could, like, blow stuff up.
Yeah.
Change the battlefield.
Make new paths.
Mm-hmm.
They would add a whole other level to combat.
Totally. And we can't forget about the parkour.
Oh, yeah. That's got to be in there.
Assassin's Creed-style movement.
But even better. Yeah. Like even more flow.
Control. Give me a grappling hook.
Yeah. Yeah, wingsuit.
Oh. I mean, and maybe some puzzles, too.
Yeah.
Like Rayman Legends.
Those were so clever.
Yeah. Make you think a little differently. Okay, what about multiplayer? Ooh, good question.
Is this a single-player game or?
I think it needs both.
Okay.
Like, you can play the story solo, but there's also co-op and competitive modes.
Ooh. So, like, you could be playing alone.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you run into other players.
Like in The Division
Yeah.
with the dark zones.
I like that. And to keep it going, we need live service stuff, right?
Live service is essential.
New content events, keep people coming back.
And choices.
Yeah.
Lots of choices.
Like how you build your character,
Yeah.
what skills you use.
Choices that affect the story.
Make it your own.
Your own unique experience.
And it's got to look amazing, right?
Oh, absolutely.
We need those cutting-edge graphics.
Gorgeous environments.
Yeah.
Realistic characters.
Incredible special effects.
It's got to be a visual feast.
And the sound, too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like epic music, sound effects that make you feel like you're there.
It all adds to the immersion.
But, you know, beyond all the tech and stuff.
Yeah.
There's something else.
What's that?
That Ubisoft magic.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's hard to explain.
It's like a feeling.
Yeah.
That sense of wonder and excitement.
Makes you want to keep playing.
Yeah. And it's not something every game has.
No, it's special.
It's special.
So our dream Ubisoft game, it's got the open world, the story, the gameplay, the graphics, the sound.
And that magic.
And that magic.
Yeah.
That's the key ingredient.
I think we're onto something here.
I think so, too.
All right, so what do you think? Ready to pitch this to Ubisoft?
I'm ready, are you?
I'm ready. Let's do it. But first,
Okay.
I want to hear from our listeners.
Yes.
What would your dream Ubisoft game be?
Let us know.
We'll be right back to hear some of your amazing ideas. Welcome back. So we asked you what your dream Ubisoft game would look like, and you guys did not disappoint.
The responses have been amazing.
So many great ideas.
People are really passionate about it.
It's clear that like Ubisoft has really like captured people's imaginations, you know?
Absolutely.
They've made so many different kinds of games. Okay, so let's jump into some of these listener ideas.
All right, let's hear them.
One that really stood out to me was Assassin's Creed, but with supernatural stuff.
Ooh, like what kind of supernatural stuff?
Like imagine a historical world,
Okay.
but there's also like magic and myths.
I like it.
So you could be like an investigator uncovering ancient secrets.
Ooh, or like a warrior fighting mythological creatures.
Yeah, exactly. Cool.
Yeah.
And what if they added in some of those social stealth elements from Watch Dogs?
Okay.
Like you could use your knowledge of like society and stuff to manipulate people.
Yeah.
That's clever.
Or even like hack into ancient artifacts.
Whoa.
Okay, this one's a bit out there.
Okay.
But someone suggested combining Assassin's Creed parkour with Just Dance.
Wait, what? I know, right?
How would that even work?
So like imagine you're doing all these parkour moves, but you have to time them to the music.
Ooh, so it's like a rhythm game?
Yeah, exactly.
That could actually be really cool.
Could be like a high-energy action ballet.
I like it.
And the multiplayer would be amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Like teams battling it out.
See who can hit the moves the best.
Okay, another listener suggested combining Far Cry 5's co-op with Siege's competitive gameplay.
Interesting.
So like you're working together.
Okay.
But anyone could betray you at any time.
Ooh, that's brutal.
Yeah, it would be so intense.
You really have to trust your teammates.
Okay, this last one is a little crazy.
All right, hit me.
Someone wants a game that combines The Division with Rabbids.
Rabbids?
Rabbids in a post-apocalyptic world.
Okay, that's a weird one.
but I kind of love it.
Yeah.
Like, imagine those rabbits running around causing chaos
It would be hilarious.
while you're trying to survive
Yeah.
and fight off enemies.
And who knows, maybe the rabbits would actually be helpful.
Yeah, maybe they're immune to the virus or something.
Yeah, we have evolved.
That's what I love about all these ideas.
Yeah.
It shows that there's so much potential in gaming.
Mm-hmm.
And Ubisoft is like right at the forefront of that.
Absolutely.
They're not afraid to try new things.
That's why their games are so interesting.
Exactly. They're always pushing the boundaries.
So what have we learned today?
I think we've learned that Ubisoft is
Yeah.
way more than just Assassin's Creed.
They've had a huge impact.
Yeah, they've shaped how we think about open worlds.
Mm-hmm.
They've innovated with multiplayer.
Yeah.
And they've shown that games can be more than just fun.
They can be meaningful.
Yeah, they can teach us things.
And they can make us think.
So to Ubisoft, I say thank you
Yeah, thank you.
for all the amazing games.
And for inspiring us.
And to all the gamers out there,
Yeah.
keep on playing.
Keep on dreaming.
And keep on pushing the boundaries.
We'll see you next time on the Deep